Hi, my name is Lindsey Miller, and welcome to the Oklahoma Venture Forum podcast. Today, I am joined with a guest who will be at our luncheon in February, Darcy Wilborn, who is the Vice President of Operations at I2E. So, thanks for joining me, Darcy.
Thank you for having me, Lindsey.
Yeah, and this is your first podcast.
It is. I'm excited to be here.
Me too, because you're at all the things, and you've spoken in front of lots and lots of groups. So, many of which I've been in, I think. So today we're talking not necessarily about I2E, but about...
Yes, a little bit about I2E, but mostly about the Oklahoma Commercialization Network, which I2E is a part of.
Okay, so tell me about this, and you abbreviated it too. OCN?
OCN.
Okay.
Yes, so Oklahoma Commercialization Network is a bit of a mouthful, so I'm going to call it OCN. Yeah. It's funded by OCAST, which another mouthful is the Oklahoma Center for the Advancement of Science and Technology. So our wonderful state agency that I2E has worked with for going on 27 years, OCAST really leads the way for the state in fostering an ecosystem and innovation and empowering young startup businesses to stay in the state and get the resources they need. So OCN is the next evolution of that relationship, and we're really excited to be a part of it.
Awesome. So tell me what OCN looks like. Yes. What is it doing?
Absolutely. So OCN has 4 founding members. So I2E, of course, The Verge in Oklahoma City, which is a co-working space and entrepreneurship hub. Gradient in Tulsa, which used to be called 36 Degrees North, changed just now in January. So Gradient, of course, is our Tulsa partner, and then REI Oklahoma, which is our rural partner. So those are the 4 founding members. In addition to those 4, we have over 35 supporting members of OCN that provide entrepreneurship services across the state of Oklahoma. And so we're really able to make more than just a funnel for entrepreneurship resources, really a web of support for entrepreneurs across the state.
That's great. So is there a website, or what does this look like?
Yes. So this is our first year of this coalition, so it's still very much in startup mode. Our website is i2e.org/network. Okay. So we're hosting it on the I2E website. So, if a resource changes or something, we have that hands-on management. Yeah. So again, i2e.org/network, you'll see that, of course, I2E is leading the charge, but very much supported by all of these amazing resources across the state. And we really want to increase the visibility so that entrepreneurs feel supported here. And they don't feel like they have to move, to Austin or Silicon Valley, because we have everything they need right here in Oklahoma.
Yeah, so, give me an example of an entrepreneur and how are they going to use OCN?
Absolutely. So we have entrepreneurs come in that are as early as an idea on a napkin, right? No work's been done. We get it. Sometimes, innovation strikes, and they come to the OCN network. Oftentimes we'll place them in one of our our earliest, very, open and welcoming programs. So I2E, we have the E3 Startup Bootcamp to help entrepreneurs kind of get their bearings. That's often for everything from idea on a napkin through early customer, early revenue, I should say. And then once a company has that early discovery period, maybe they've started to build a prototype or an MVP, there are a lot more resources that are available. So if they don't start with I2E's program, the nice thing is that Gradient has programs that welcome new entrepreneurs into the ecosystem. The Verge not only has their workshops, but also hosts Generator and G-Beta, which have these early stage programs. So it's, again, instead of just trying to build a funnel, we're really trying to support entrepreneurs, whatever industry, whatever stage they're in. So they have that soft landing when they step into what can be, a somewhat lonely journey
Right.
of entrepreneurship.
Absolutely. So, okay, I always have to like bring it back to myself.
Please.
Right. So I am, someone in Oologah, Oklahoma, because now we have REI, which I think is such a good
great.
part of the ecosystem. But I'm in Oologah, Oklahoma, and I have an idea for a hair salon. And I don't know if we have one there or not anymore, but we used to.
Okay.
Anyway, but I want to do a hair salon. I want to do a dry bar. Right,
Sure.
style thing in Oologah, but I need help and resources. I don't know where to start, so I go to this website, and then I'm able to like go through the stages of going like, where do I see myself?
Right, exactly. Yes, so the nice thing about this is it's not only the clients that I2E has typically served in the past,
Right.
which have been tech startups.
Right.
It also provides resources for a dry bar in rural Oklahoma, so there's no wrong front door, right? So they might start at I2E and be like, wow, you guys have programs for tech startups. I'm not a tech startup.
Right.
But on the same page, there's
Right.
REI Oklahoma, which has amazing, workshops and support and small business lending for those important businesses that are supporting our rural communities.
Right.
It also has links to the Small Business Development Center, which is funded by the SBA.
Right.
So again, bringing state resources, federal resources, all to the same place. So there is no wrong way to get help, and the choices are there.
I love that, and it really is important. So, because even though, my marketing assistant, I've always considered it like a tech startup, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
And so when I was out early, and still early, but earlier, looking for help and resources, I kept being told we can't help you because you're a service company. And I'm like, but no, it's technology. And so but this could definitely be something where I could go and be like, okay, these people may tell me no, but all these other people are going to tell me yes.
Right, exactly. And, if a startup doesn't know how to navigate through those resources, we want to be able to connect them quickly with someone who can help, right? Because you're resilient. You go out there, you hear no, that's okay. You hear yes, you're fine.
Right.
Others, may not realize that the next door is going to be a yes.
Right.
So we don't want them to hit, the I2E bootcamp page and think like, oh, this is the end of my journey. No. There's another resource that's a great fit for you. We just got to find it and match.
Is there somebody who's a person that's there to also help, or
Absolutely.
is it all? So what is that?
Yes, absolutely. So when a company fills out the inquiry form on the OCN landing page, they will be directed to a person. So we have I2E staff. Marla O'Fallon is running that. She's wonderful. And so when she reviews a company's information, she can pretty quickly see, okay, this is a dry bar in rural Oklahoma. I'm going to connect them with these 6 resources. So she's our navigator right now, if you will. But that's expanding because, again, our goal is no wrong front door. So if somebody walks into The Verge or REI or 36 or Gradient.
I know, it's hard to remember those changes.
It is. They're gonna get that that support and that help finding that right resource for them. And of course, OCAST themselves are also helping folks navigate because they originally were focused or are focused on science and technology, but they recognize the broader entrepreneurship ecosystem is so vital to the state that we have to support everyone.
Yeah. I feel like people have always said that Oklahoma's startup culture, entrepreneurship culture is so new. I don't think it is. I think people have been doing things for so long, but maybe they just haven't been connected in a more sophisticated way to know even about each other.
Absolutely. Yeah, we do still find entrepreneurs that have been, working on a business for 10 years and don't realize the amount of support that's out there. And that's on us. We got to get out and spread the word. But I absolutely think that the entrepreneurial spirit is ingrained in the very founding of Oklahoma. And that, startup companies and the jobs they create are very important to our state's growth, right? If you look how we've diversified away from oil and gas over the last 20 years, yes, there have been some industries that have been specifically targeted, like aerospace, but industries like biotech and, other, tech-based services,
Right.
like my marketing assistant, are really from the people that are already here, right? We're not really recruiting that many people in from outside the state. We're growing our own industry here, and it's allowing the state to diversify and to, not only keep up with the technology, but also to be cutting edge in certain industries.
Absolutely. And it also sounds like by bringing all of these things together, like something that I've noticed is my dad was a chiropractor.
Yeah.
I have an aunt that's a florist. They would have never called themselves entrepreneurs.
Right.
Like ever. And I still don't think they would.
Right.
And I think that's so normal is like
Yes.
there's people that have been in business for
Mhm.
themselves,
Right.
hiring people, part of the economy
Right.
for 20 some odd years, and they're like, oh yeah, well I'm just a florist. I'm like, no, right?
No,
As I'm like
yeah.
helping connect all of these things together and be like, no, you are a major important part of our economy in our
Right,
state.
absolutely. Yeah, I mean, that's such a great point that as folks become more connected with this idea of entrepreneurship, or the fact that, we can be more inclusive by not just using the term entrepreneurship, but also using the terms, small business owner or founder, whatever that is,
Right.
that we should be casting a broader net. And the services available reflect that, right? Now, I will agree that 25 years ago, tech entrepreneurship was not a huge ecosystem in Oklahoma.
Right.
Right. All credit to the state legislature. They looked around after the oil bust of the 80s and said, we got to diversify. And so I2E's first contract with OCAST was 1998. And there was a pretty empty landscape at that time. But through very thoughtful, gradual expansion, and of course the general rise of technology, the internet connecting all of us together, and now AI as a new frontier, Oklahoma's tech ecosystem is booming.
Mm-hmm.
And so the ability for these amazing programs through OCAST like SSBCI, are really sitting on top of 27 years of investment by the state in making sure there's a strong foundation.
Yeah, absolutely. So, okay, OCN, so you just launched it.
Yes, we just launched it like September, October
Okay.
of 24.
Okay.
So I shouldn't say we're in startup mode, but it still feels like we're in startup mode.
So it's a big project, like bringing all these people together.
It is.
So what's like the first year goal? Like if we get to the end of December, like what is success looking like?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, it's a couple fold. One is we want to connect folks with resources more efficiently, more completely, right? Instead of just saying like, hey, here's somebody that can help you. It's like, these are all the things that you have access to. And it may take you a year to get to all of them,
Right.
but they're here when you're ready.
Yeah.
And so, our expectation is by the end of 25, we will have touched over 1,000 companies. We will have done kind of navigation work with at least 300, right? That come in and say, okay, I need help, and we start connecting with resources. We're expecting to serve, at least 30 through our early stage introductory workshops and boot camps and things like E3.
Yeah.
And then also supported by OCN, which we haven't talked about, is our Bridge 2 program. And that's our pre-accelerator program, which has an optional $50,000 note. I'm very excited to announce that we just accepted 15 companies
That's awesome.
into this most recent cohort. So we're helping more companies than ever.
Yeah.
Again, funded it through this amazing partnership with OCAST,
Yeah.
Gradient, The Verge, and REI. So it's just really exciting to see. For listeners who don't know, Lindsey was a guinea pig in Bridge 2 in its very earliest days, cohort 1, and I think there were 5 of you.
Yeah.
At the time. So just the fact that 3 cohorts in, we're now at 15.
Absolutely.
we've seen huge growth and interest. So yeah, we're pretty excited about it.
And even the guinea pig year was awesome. I learned so much. Like, I still use a lot of what I learned.
Oh, I'm so
in
glad.
those things. And the friendships that I made too, really important.
Yeah,
But 15 people, that's incredible.
Yes.
And I just saw E3,
Yes.
there's some like big number too, like how many times that's happened.
Yes, we are on our 56th
I
cohort.
was gonna say 50 something, but I was like, that can't possibly be right. But
Yes,
yeah.
well, that's when I start to feel my age. So I've been involved with E3 since cohort 1 in February of 2015, and we are now in cohort 56. We run it 4 to 5 times a year, and it has been the love of my life.
Yeah.
Like helping these early stage entrepreneurs. Again, some of them, idea on a napkin, Darcy, what do I do first? Others of them, like, hey, I got my first customer. How do I create a scalable sales process? Like, I just love that early stage startup. So yes, like 56 cohorts has, I would like to say gone by in a flash, but really, like, I don't remember the person I was when I started.
Yeah, well, congratulations. That's
Thank
amazing.
you.
I will say
Thanks.
this too. There were people in my Bridge 2 cohort that had been through E3,
Yes.
and they were better equipped
Oh.
than those of us that hadn't done that. And I thought, oh, maybe I should have. Like, I don't know that I could go backwards now, but like
No,
it
it's
was a
always
good
there.
step.
Yeah.
It's a really good step. So I'm glad that it's continuing
Thank
and so
you.
strong.
Thank you.
Okay, so the first year goals, we talked about that.
Yes.
What's our long term plan for
Absolutely. Yeah. So right now I'm having to, adjust the fact that my long-term goals are probably not happening in the next 6 months. So in an ideal world, I wanted to see, everything brought in kind of day one, where we have, our startup legal experts that are providing pro bono services. Now, they've already volunteered their time. It's just the process of making those connections is so intensive, and it has to be curated well, that we haven't quite gotten there yet, right? We're 4 months in to our official launch of the OCN brand. So I'm realizing that, like, I do need to put some things a year out, even if I want them to be tomorrow. But we do have this amazing vision for really, connecting entrepreneurs with the resources they need when they need them. And it's not just a workshop on how to be an entrepreneur, right? As much as I love that, it's things like legal services and accounting services. I saw that Tom Evans was on the podcast, and he's a board member of I2E, such a good friend. And, just like these people with expertise are in Oklahoma, and it's going to be a very thoughtful exercise to make sure that the entrepreneurs who want to stay here and grow here are connected to all of those people that you and I know. But those who are just starting their journey may not be aware or in the state.
I also think of the other side of that too, right? Like, we have a friend in the service industry who's looking to be ready to exit, right? And so I'm like, that's probably a place where he could go to for resources, who's never really been involved in any of this other stuff.
Right.
And so so it is like this full gamut.
Yes, right. And we're not there yet, but I would like to be able to provide that whole life cycle support. Because I2E now has exits. Our subsidiary Plains Ventures has invested in companies that have sold, to large acquirers for, hundreds of millions of dollars. We had one company that we invested in that IPO'd on NASDAQ for like a $3 billion market cap. So the institutional knowledge is here in Oklahoma to support companies to go through the whole life cycle. And again, it's just making those connections at the right place at the right time. We're still trying to figure all those pieces out.
Yeah, that's great. Okay, so tell me again the URL.
Yes, i2e.org/network.
Okay, I love that. And okay, what else do we need to know about OCN, or any new big things that are happening in I2E?
Yeah, well, we are not only so busy with OCN and all the great programs like E3 and Bridge 2 that are under OCN, but we're also jumping into our Entrepreneurship Cup, sponsored by Loves, which is our annual collegiate business plan competition. So that's going strong, so we're very excited about that. And then, as we look ahead, we're just continuing to figure out how to connect our partners, how to connect our entrepreneurial companies with the resources. And so for anyone listening that hasn't had a chance to connect, we would love to connect and talk about whatever way we can engage and just make the network stronger.
And who should they reach out to?
Well, they could fill out our contact form on OCN if they want to start there. If they're a partner that wants to be listed in the OCN network, they could reach out to me directly.
Okay. And what's a partner? Like what type of people are partners?
So we have partners that are, say, like accelerator programs, say Generator or Techstars up in Tulsa. Farm Bureau is a big partner for us. Also, in addition to REI, we have some other rural partners that are very important to the network. It can also be a funding partner. So, all the OCAST funding recipients like Cortado, Boyd Street, 46 Ventures in Tulsa, Oklahoma Life Science Fund, all of them are part of this broader OCAST umbrella and OCN partnership.
Okay, that's great then. So there's a lot of people that could get involved if they are interested.
Yes, absolutely.
And then you also said free services too.
Yes.
So if there's somebody that wants to donate time to these early stage, like the attorneys
Absolutely, yes. We're putting together a list of attorneys that are willing to do a little bit of pro bono work for these startups. And we have an amazing resource here in the state in the OCU Law School.
Yeah.
They're certified by the U.S. Patent Office to do expedited filings, which is a big win for the entrepreneurs here in the state because that can take 2 years. So to get responses faster, that alone is huge.
Absolutely. And it can be so expensive.
It can be, yes. So I could talk for 2 hours about all the resources we have and why everyone should come check them out, but I'll leave it there.
Right. But you get to talk about this at the luncheon.
Yes.
And so I think everyone is really looking forward to that as well.
Yes.
Okay, so our final question, what is the advice that you give? Like you've been doing this for so long and you've talked to so many newbie entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
What's the one thing that you want everyone to know that could help them get started?
Yes. Well, not to contradict myself, but there is a tightrope here with resources, right? An entrepreneur has to have a North Star. Because so many people like to give entrepreneurs advice that if the entrepreneur doesn't hang on to their North Star, it can just become very noisy, right? And so I always recommend to our youngest companies coming to I2E, have that vision of where you want to be in 5 years, but don't hold on to the pieces that don't matter, right? Because if you listen to your customer and you feel you need to change the path in order to reach the goal, that's fine. But if your goal changes too many times, it can start to become, just unattainable.
Mm-hmm.
And so that balance between knowing, am I accepting 40% of the advice I'm getting? Am I accepting 80% of the advice I'm getting? And am I still working towards the same North Star that I was last year? The successful entrepreneurs I've seen are able to balance those, but it is a challenge to be able to say, this is where I'm headed, and I'm going to take the good advice, and I'm going to ignore the bad advice, and I'm going to find that very narrow path through.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
Oh, I resonate with that so much.
As a multi-time entrepreneur.
Yeah, and you get because I don't know what I'm doing most of the time, and so I'm always looking for advice and support. But I have a clear vision for what I want, and when you hear advice from really smart, intelligent people that have been down those paths, and you're like, I don't know, right?
Yeah.
Even you want to listen,
right,
and take it in, but then it's okay, if I don't listen to them because it doesn't feel right, because I'm all about the feelings,
right,
and it doesn't feel right. What if I'm making the wrong choice? And that is so tough.
It is. Yeah. So I don't pretend like it's easy, but it is that balance that I find. If you ignore all advice, that tends to lead to failure.
Yeah.
If you take all advice, that could also lead to failure because two people with really good intentions will tell you to do opposite things.
Oh, Yes, that's awesome. I love it. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, and if you want to hear more about Darcy and the OCN, am I calling it a network? I'm saying N and network. I'm duplicating.
Yeah,
It's
Oklahoma Commercialization Network. Rolls
Okay.
right off the tongue.
It really does. She will be at the Oklahoma Venture Forum luncheon on February 12th in Oklahoma City, and we hope to see you there.